Hey, WrestleMania 29 weekend continues. You don't need them. You can wear the headphones you want. You don't have to. You do whatever. You know what? You do whatever you want, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Ryback is here.
What's going on?
I'm actually very excited to do this because I know very little about you as a person,
Okay.
and yet you've become such a familiar face in my household over the last year or so. And then on top of that, you've got a match with my closest friend in the wrestling biz, Mark Henry,
Big Mark Henry,
on
yes.
Sunday. Now, just so you know, if you're thinking about whether or not he's able to get you up for a World's Strongest Slam, I want you to know he lifted me in a chair at my wedding last September.
That does not shock me. The feats of strength that man is capable of is
He
amazing.
used, and he was hurt at the time still, so he used one hand.
That's the scary part. Yeah, no, he is a freak of nature. So, as am I. So we're going to go in there. We're going to clash heads, and I'm looking forward to picking him up, though.
How psyched are you to have a match with him at WrestleMania as your first Mania moment to share it with Mark?
No, it's unbelievable. And, you know, last year I was sitting in the stands watching out injured. So I was back from an injury but not really doing anything. And they were up in the air on what they were going to do with me. And I just said to myself, this is the last one. I've worked too hard for this. To see all the other guys that I came in before, guys passing me, and I said, when I hit, I'm going to hit. And I'm going to pass all these guys that I had to sit back in developmental and watch come up before me. And I have, and it's a great feeling. But to Mark Henry, I've known him for a long time. And it's actually a funny story. When I was in developmental, I was a silverback. That was my name. And he was on TV as the world's strongest man. I had got fired. And WWE called me to ask me a question. At the time, I was like, oh, the hell with them. They fired me. I don't want to talk to them. It was to ask my approval if Mark Henry could use my silverback nickname, which I don't know if you remember. He had about a year run being the silverback.
I do remember that.
And, I mean, he saw me in the gym, I remember, before he did this, and he said some nice words to me, but he goes, I'm going to go look at some tapes of you. And I guess he did, and he found out that he liked my name. And he took it.
But he asked.
No, I didn't ever.
No, did he ask you?
No, that wasn't. He never. I don't think that was before WWE called me.
Oh, and then they called and said it.
But I didn't know what they wanted, and they didn't leave a voicemail, and I never called them back. And so for all that history there, and he took that name, I remember being out fired and watching that and like, what the hell's going on? And I came back, obviously, Ryback's my name, Ryan, and Silverback combined. So, you know, I'm back to being who I am, and it all worked out the right way. But it's cool that this is the guy I'm going to have my big career-defining moment with at WrestleMania. So,
is it hard for you? I mean, I think when we look at the card, I believe, I know that you guys won't get the time I would want you to get for where this should go. And frankly, in my opinion, I wouldn't say that. I think we're going to have more than enough time.
You think
you will?
Yeah.
Is that just because you think you're going to beat his ass so quickly, or you think you'll be able to tell the story you want to tell?
No, I think we'll be able to go out there and tell the story that we want to tell in the allotted time. And, you know, there's a lot of big names on this card, but you got to remember that this past year I've been the fastest rising star in the WWE, and my goal is to be the #1 guy in the company, and they know that. And I am here to not replace John Cena, but create a spot above John Cena, and I believe I am the one to do it. So I'm not going to be overlooked at WrestleMania. I don't know if you remember when actually John Cena picked up Big Show and got him up. And
I do.
That was one of those career moments for him that kind of brought him to the next level. This is in a different way, my same kind of thing for me to kind of bring me to the next level here and hopefully propel me to the WWE Championship.
So how much time does someone in your position spend talking about, either with Mark or just on your own, thinking about this match and the detail and everything like that?
You know, I used to be one of those guys that I talk about it actually on this workout video WWE did, but I was afraid of the fear of failure. It used to eat me up, and I used to stress about things, and I'm in such a different place now. I'm very confident in myself, and when I go out there, and I know Mark is as well, we're going to go out there and exceed all expectations. I don't worry about a thing. I literally am not nervous at all for Sunday. I love being out there in front of all the fans and the energy. Back when I first got into wrestling, I would have been a complete mess, 5 years ago, if not even a few years back. But through, I live my life through the book The Secret, the Law of Attraction, the positivity, and I do meditation. I'm in a completely different place now, where I'm in control at all times. And
well, this is a great question to ask.
Yep.
So how did it feel as a guy who's dealt with those things?
Yeah.
How did it feel when you hear all these smart marks at the shows doing the Goldberg chants for the first 6 months or whatever it was?
No, there's still some.
You still get some of the straggler?
Yeah. TV only on Monday Night Raw, for whatever reason, we'll do live events all week. Fans will chant Ryback all week. But once that TV taping starts, there'll be people still try to get it. I think it's just like a Monday Night Raw thing now at this point. But they're usually pretty much drowned out by the Feed Me More chants now. You know, I love our wrestling fans, and but a lot.
Did it bug you though at the beginning?
No, and wrestling fans in general though are very negative. A lot of them, but so is our entire world. We're living in a society now that's extremely negative, and nobody focuses on the positives anymore. People, you know, they compared me to Goldberg, and because I'm bald, I had the big traps.
I mean, there's some similarities physically,
and I get it, and but we're two completely different guys, and it's one of those things. I knew it was just going to take time. People are very loyal to those who came before us, and he was at the top of WCW, and he came into WWE and had a good little run. So fans remember that, and they're loyal to that. It just takes time to make fans loyal to yourself, and I think that's what we're seeing now is, you know, I'm coming along here, and we're getting a little further into this thing. People are like, I kind of like this guy. So, but, you know, the smart ones are always going to have their opinions, and that's fine. But I'm going to keep doing my thing, and I'm going to be happy.
It's so convenient, by the way, that the word for people, and obviously I keep talking about smart marks, myself included. I love that the word smart. I love that it's a complimentary term.
I'm sure they
effing geek is the other term you could use. But I want to say one more thing. I'm going to tell you one critical thing that I have, in my opinion, for you. One of the things that made me a little bit slow to gravitate towards you, this is just my own random opinion, I do not like your singlet for some reason. I know it's a random thing, but when people, I forget which one of my friends made the joke about it looks like Warriors like stretch out, or was it Warrior? Is that what we said it was?
RVD.
RVD and the RVD, and I just thought for some reason I don't know what I would suggest, because I think you look. I can't really picture you in something else.
Yeah, no, it's
hard.
It's funny. I was in the trunks before, and this was actually, I was getting ready to come back. I was back on doing the dark matches, and Vince McMahon came to me, and he threw me an all-black singlet. And I go, what's this? This is what you're going to be wearing from now on. And it was exactly like Big Show's. And I was just...
With the one strap?
No, well...
Two-strap.
Two-strap, but like the black, And I was just completely appalled, and I was like, I don't want to do this. He just goes, trust me. So... I wore the black singlet for a while in live events. Literally 2 weeks before I debuted on TV, I just said, you know what, I got this canvas here. I'm just going to, nobody's done the airbrushing since, RVD. He's not here anymore. I somehow got in contact with RVD's airbrush guy at the time, who doesn't do it anymore, unfortunately. But I found a girl that's better, I believe. But he did the stuff for me, and instantly I noticed kids when I came out for my first live event. And kids were like ooh and on, and they didn't know who I was really, a lot of them. So I was like, okay, this is a way for me to go out there. I know I'm going to have adults' attention with my physicality and intensity. This is a way to kind of get kids to take notice, because I remember being a kid and liking the colors and whatnot. So it's pretty much nothing more than that it's just a way for me to try to appeal to all audiences. So
that's very interesting.
Yeah. But it's not, and I agree, it did look very RVD-ish. That's because RVD's airbrush guy was doing it. Right. And the girl I have now is actually, I feel like they're a little different now. I'm doing a little more comic book stuff with them, and I got some really cool ones coming up. But it did look very RVD-ish, even Ultimate Warrior-ish. But, everybody repeats history over time, and it's just trying to make it your own and try to make it, unique to me. So.
Real quick, I'm going to let you go, and of course we're talking to Ryback, and if you've been paying attention, this guy's had just a monster year. Who did you admire the most coming up as a kid?
I get asked this quite a bit actually, but I got pictures of my photo album my mom has, and I have at home. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels I absolutely loved. I had the cardboard cutouts of them, but Razor Ramon was my number one guy, and I still to this day think he's one of the all-time coolest, just well-rounded characters. And I always wish Razor Ramon had a run as WWE champion, because I think if you go back and look at that time when his music hit, he was one of the hottest things they had. And that was just, I remember I'd be at home and playing his theme music on a rewind just over and over. I just thought it was awesome. So
it is interesting when you think back that he only had the IC title. Yeah. Because even in terms of his size and everything, he would have worked. It would have been believable. It would have made sense.
It never happened for whatever reason, and I'm hoping. Now he's living with DDP and he's getting all cleaned up. Yeah, I'm rooting for him, and I really feel he's going to do it. So I'm curious to see him. I want to see him get the hip replacement and start working out again. And I believe he's one of those guys that if he can get himself back together, we'll see him back here in the WWE, hopefully working, in some capacity.
I'm doing something.
Yeah, guys like that, we need, it's Jake Roberts. There's no reason why they shouldn't be involved still, So
especially with
Jake
30 around the corner, is like, extra motivation for, even if it's something like that battle, Legends Battle Royal you have or whatever it may be, but something where we get to see those guys again.
But I just think having guys like that, minds like that around, they have so much to offer, and we have so many young guys. And
Jake, you mentioned Jake. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, just so to have guys like that back around and at our disposal at any time would be a tremendous honor. And so I'm hoping they get it together and they keep a positive mindset, because it seems like DDP is a very strong mind. It seems to be working. So
yeah, it does.
I'm rooting for him.
Well, listen, I'm rooting for you. You seem like a cool guy. Like I said, I knew very little about you. Last thing, where are you from?
Born and raised Las Vegas. So
born and raised.
That is
Las
why
Vegas.
they announced from Sin City.
That's right. It's actually legit.
Yeah,
huh?
It's legit. So.
And that's why I know nothing about you. You never know someone who's from Las Vegas originally.
Yeah, I'm
it's
very I lay low. Yeah, I live up in the mountains, up away from everything up there, and
that's still where home is.
Still, I'm back there. Yeah.
Well, listen, one of my favorite people, Iron Mike Tyson, resides in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I got love for that. Seemed like a cool dude. Congratulations on the year, and good luck. Good luck. Be nice to my buddy Mark Henry on Sunday.
I'll try.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
WrestleMania 29 All Access.